How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another combo review. I'm still super busy at work as we near the Christmas season, and I've decided to lump two films that I've watched recently, two of my most anticipated films of the year together, the first being the newest film from Adam McKay. And this next serving of satire features one of the most stacked ensembles I have ever seen in my entire life. Don't look up.
You are here now. You are here now. You are here now. You are here now. You're here now. Your breathing is stressing me out.
This will affect the entire planet.
I know, but it's like so stressful.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence star as two astronomers who discover that a comet is hurtling towards Earth, and when it hits, will destroy the planet entirely. They notify the appropriate authorities, and what do you know? They drag their feet. Whether it be because it could be bad for polling numbers, not be the news we want to hear, or maniacs just refusing to believe concrete proof, it's a race against time to convince the world to act before it's too late. You would have to be a Class A idiot to hear that synopsis that I've just given and not apply it to any of the modern day crises that we are facing. COVID, climate change. Similar to his films The Big Short and Vice, Adam McKay is pissed off and he wants you to be pissed off with him. It's a 2.5 hour ferocious, unrelenting, unyielding, and uncomfortable diatribe attacking our current society and how we like to bury our heads in the sand and pretend like the bad news will just go away, it will disappear, and we won't actually face any of our struggles head on and try to change and do something about it. It's also pretty freaking funny too. Yet again, McKay is using zany satire to cloak his real intentions. Does it work? Not all the time. For example, I don't think the word subtlety is anywhere near Adam McKay's vocabulary, so yeah, there are some moments that really could have used some subtlety. And once again, his films are edited with a jackhammer instead of a chisel, and that is something that I am yet to warm to. That being said though, when faced with tragic circumstances, it's not uncommon to turn to laughter as a coping mechanism. And despite the horrifying truth of when we're faced with these apocalyptic scenarios, the human race tend to do anything but take it seriously. And that is when McKay chomps down on the satire. Ron Perlman is shooting the comet from his front porch. Cate Blanchett looks unrecognizable as a news anchor determined to keep the end of the world fun and light. And Meryl Streep is having tons of fun as an idiotic president who is more concerned with profiting off doomsday as opposed to actually saving the planet. Those that stood out to me most, however, were Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, and Mark Rylance. DiCaprio has such amazing comedic talent, and he nails his paranoid and anxiety-ridden character brilliantly, culminating in an all-time great outburst. It's been a while since we've seen J-Law in a new film, and I forgot just how incredible she is. Comedy, drama, I thought she was terrific in this. Jonah Hill absolutely nailed his character. Pretty much every line of his had me howling, both how ridiculous he was being and how we've seen similar antics from real politicians too. And Mark Rylance, like, the dude commits so much to this role. It is one creepy ass performance, but props to the man, he fully committed. However, my one big problem is that despite a plethora of talented cast members, the characters themselves never feel fully explored. This is not a real story, thank God, but McKay treats it as if it almost is, trying to tick off the facts, as opposed to actually giving time to these characters so we can learn who they are, what they're about, besides just situating them in this current end of the world scenario. The only one who kind of gets something to do is DiCaprio scientist, but even then his arc is fairly worn and tired. We've seen it tons of times before. Don't Look Up is unmistakably Adam McKay turned to the max. Subtlety gets thrown out the window for a frantic, furious, and biting satire about many things, notably how shit we are at coping in a crisis. The performances all knock it out of the park, and despite the gloomy sounding premise, it is often hilarious. But as an actual story/film, it didn't work as well as McKay's previous efforts, especially in the character department. I'm going to give Don't Look Up a 6.5 out of 10. And now shifting gears from the end of the world to the swinging streets of New York City, as we are treated to a remake of one of the most beloved musicals of all time in the hands of the GOAT himself, Steven Spielberg, in West Side Story.
Is a place for us somewhere, a place for us.
Just in case you've been living in hiding for all your life, West Side Story focuses on the Sharks and the Jets, two warring gangs that occupy the Big Apple. In amongst these factions are two star-crossed lovers, Tony and Maria, who fall for each other despite their differences. Remaking West Side Story did not go down well when it was first announced, and I mean, why remake something that is considered timeless? Then Steven Spielberg attached himself to direct, and promptly many people changed their tune and were like, okay, well, you know what, let's not rush to a conclusion, let's hear him out, let's see what he has to do. You see, it's a little known fact that Spielberg has been desperate to make a musical for decades now. I mean, the closest that he's ever really gotten to doing a musical is the opening of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And boy, was the wait worth it. Spielberg has injected every single ounce of passion and adoration that he has for the musical genre, and he does not disappoint. This is some of his best work in a long time, and believe me, that is saying something. This is gonna sound like a cliche, but we simply don't get movies like this anymore. An extravagant, expensive-looking, all guns blazing, singing and dancing musical that harkens back to the golden age of musicals. Spielberg's graceful and magical direction is working tenfold in the musical numbers. There are so many wide shots, and they are just left to be. We as the audience get to soak in the energy, the vibrancy, we get to soak it all in without Spielberg cutting the camera away. I'd genuinely be surprised if he doesn't pick up a Best Director nomination this year. It's some of the best musical direction I've seen, period. But this isn't just the Steven Spielberg show. Collaborator Janusz Kaminski, who has been partnering with Spielberg for quite a while now, has crafted a beautiful looking film. He does a sensational job at bringing the musical into a slightly modern age, but still retaining that timeless quality to it. Screenwriter Tony Kushner also highlights a lot of the themes from the original text that are even more so prevalent in today's current climate, and the performances are spectacular across the board. Rachel Zegler gives a debut for the ages as Maria. She is utterly spellbinding and everything you could want in that character. Angelic voice, endearing personality. From the moment she appears to the film's closing moments, you cannot take your eyes off her. She is undeniably going to have an amazing career following this. Ansel Elgort is very good in the film.
That's all I have to say about that.
Ariana DeBose might have just swanned her way into the Best Supporting Actress race with a dynamite performance as Anita, and also Mike Faist as Riff. He was totally captivating. I've never seen the actor before, but he stole every single second of screen time that he was given. The songs are still so iconic, as they've always been, especially with the recent passing of Stephen Sondheim. But if I have any critiques, most of them are more to do with the original source material than proposing the execution of the film itself. I still find the Sharks versus the Jets angle far more interesting than the Tony Maria romance. And yeah, the second half of the film does drag quite a bit. You do feel the 2.5 hours go by. But believe me when I say that those critiques soon fade away when Spielberg grabs a hold of the reins and gives us a musical extravaganza the likes of which we could only dream of. No one comes close in his ability to stage a movie and deliver magic only a cinema is capable of doing so. I hate to sound like a broken record, but we really don't get films like this anymore. It's amazing to see, and fans will surely fall in love all over again. So, I'm gonna give West Side Story a 9.5 out of 10. Anyway guys, those were my thoughts on Don't Look Up and West Side Story. Let me know, have you had a chance to see either of these films yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Before I go, I just want to say my Spider-Man No Way Home review is going to be coming very soon. It's going to be interesting for us to talk about that. But that is all that we have time for here today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.